This is the last page. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. From the east come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting. Alexander reaches into the fire pit and takes a lump of coal. Alexander takes the scythe. From the northeast come the sounds of mysterious drums and chanting. Alexander pulls. Alexander feels.
Your Highness may as well spend her royal time contemplating something else. The lump of coal shall be sent to the Castle of the Crown under my name, and that's all there is to it.
No, it shan't.
Yes, it shall.
If the coal is sent in your name, I shall royally decree a ban on all red on this isle.
You do, and I shall royally decree that white shall be henceforth used for all mopping up of cabbage stew.
You wouldn't dare!
Oh, wouldn't I?
Oh, it's you! Have you thought of any more of those brilliant ideas of yours?
I found the two of you another lump of coal so that you can stop fighting over the one you have.
Oh, let me see. A lump of coal. And what a beauty! beauty it is, too. Oh, marvelous. Now we can stop fighting, sister. Your Highness can just keep the old lump of coal, and I'll take this new one.
Quite right. That settles everything.
As a token of our endless esteem and royal favor, please accept this magnificent and truly incredible spoiled egg.
Thanks.
Let me see that lump of coal, Your Highness.
It is a beauty, isn't it?
Why, it's bigger than my lump of coal. Let me have it immediately.
Over my dead body, Your Highness. It's my lump of coal, and it is indeed larger and much grander. Just look at that sheen.
I demand you exchange with me immediately.
Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Alexander takes a magnificent white rose from the rose hedges. Alexander walks forward to step onto the gazebo. But the rose hedges on either side of the path, sensing an intruder's presence, reach out their vines and blend together. The path is blocked. Alexander wields the scythe, determined to get past the magical rose hedges. The leaves fly as Alexander tries to cut the branches faster than they can grow back together. He sees light. He's through.
Who dares enter Beast's garden?
My name is Alexander. I didn't mean to disturb your private garden.
No. And yet, monsieur, you could hardly have accidentally broken through the 3 enchanted traps of the Isle of the Beast.
I suppose it is simply my nature to break through enchanted traps.
You must be a prince, then. I know the nature of princes all too well. This face you see before you is hideous, is it not?
Well, for the face of a beast, it is really quite noble.
Ha! I'm glad you like it, for you will soon own one just like it. I, too, was once a pretty prince, caring for nothing but adventuring and rescuing fair maidens. But I rankled one too many evil hags. One dark night, I was turned into this obscenity you see before you, warped in shape and trapped on this enchanted island over 100 years ago.
Surely there is a way off this island.
Oh, surely. You broke in, did you not? And yet think, where would I go clad so eloquently as I am with this silk and this pelt? You see, my prison is also my sanctuary. You are the first to break through the barriers in lo these many years. That is, except for the druids who stole my heirloom coat of arms.
If there's any way I can help.
Help? You? I'm afraid you don't understand. The enchanted barriers were a warning and protection for you more than for me. Your prize for forcing your way past them is to join me in this dire life. By the laws of this sorcery, you are doomed to be trapped in the form of a beast. Your reward for broaching this garden is to be my slave, a slave as beastly as I am. You have only a few hours of humanity left.
But that's not possible. There must be some way to break the enchantment. Spells always have a weakness somewhere.
The enchantment you are under is tied to my own. Or the sorceress left me a way out. But I'm afraid it was only her final bitter joke. You see, I need only find a maiden to join me here, to share my castle, my life, willingly. Take another look at me. You can't help but admire the hag's terrible cruelty and cunning.
I shall try to find such a maid, for Casima's sake.
Truly? How determined of you. I personally would not waste my last few hours as a man on an impossible errand. However, you may do as you please. I give you this token. It's my family ring, and the only heirloom I have left. If perchance you should... if you think you have found a maid...
I shall give her this ring.
Yes, she must accept it of her own free will. By doing so, she accepts me. Not that you shall find anyone, mind you. Your time is short. Count the minutes on your fingers while your fingers you have, pretty prince. Your master will await you.
Alexander pulls out. Alexander feels a...
Hello. I will be right up. Now, what can I do for you?
Alexander takes another look at the wedding proclamation. It's a proclamation. It reads, "Citizens rejoice, announcing the royal wedding and coronation of Wazir Abdul al-Hazred and Princess Casima. For reasons of security, the wedding will not be open to the public. Long live the new king and queen of the land of the Green Isles."
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before, sir?
No!
But I'm quite sure. Perhaps on some cliffs.
No!
Isle of the Beast?
No!
Dockside?
No! Leave me alone!
Not very friendly, is he? The old man is plainly not going to reveal anything to Alexander, and he doesn't seem receptive to any revelations that Alexander might have for him, at least not those put into words. For no apparent reason, Alexander's flesh crawls at the mere thought of touching the old man. The pawnshop owner doesn't look like a man to be tussled with. The curiosities business is just dangerous enough to require one to develop one's boxing skills. Alexander feels a strange sensation come over him. His skin begins to itch. His head throbs.
Wee! 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 Wee!
Was that the beast you could do? Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Great gods! Did you see that? The man just appeared from nowhere.
Perhaps he was sent by the spirits. I see no boat.
He is an intruder, no matter how he got here. Grab him!
Not again. Look, I'll leave. It's no problem.
I think not. Let's go.
Alexander is frozen at the spectacle before him. Robed figures are gathered around a bonfire. Some mystical ceremony is taking place, but as to its purpose, Alexander has no clue.
We found a trespasser on the beach, Archdruid.
Uh-oh. Archdruid. Now what has Alexander wandered into?
This must be the foreigner we were warned about. How appropriate that he should come during our rain festival. Place him in the sacrificial cage.
Wait! I must rescue the princess!
There's an ancient druid saying, a man who would save others must first save himself.
Alexander is pushed into the confining wicker cage. And the cage is swung out over the bonfire. Alexander starts to feel a little warm. The bottom of the cage is getting uncomfortably hot. Mercifully, Alexander passes out from the heat before the first tongues of flame ignite the wicker.
Tickets up. Next.
That was a bit too hot to handle. Alexander should have been better prepared. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Good day, maid. My name is Alexander. How do you do?
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm not allowed to talk to strangers.
Pardon me, maid. I hope you don't think me forward, but I see that you like roses. I thought you might, perhaps, like a fresh white rose.
Alexander can see the conflict in the girl's pretty face as she fights between her distrust of him and her desire for the white rose. The rose wins.
Oh, I shouldn't, sir, but it is so lovely. I've never seen a rose of white. It looks so pale and delicate. Wherever did you find one of such a color?
There are many hedges of them on the Isle of the Beast, and they grow together like magic.
Oh, truly? What an adventure that must be to see them. But I should not speak so, especially to a stranger. Thank you for the rose, though, kind sir.
Do you live in this house, maid?
Well, my stepmother and her children live here. I live out back in the stables.
Your stepmother? Then you're not a... well, I thought you were...
A servant? I am, I suppose. You see, my mother died and my father remarried. He passed on shortly afterwards. My stepmother has no obligation to feed and clothe me. I only try to repay her for my upkeep as best I can.
I see. Is there anything I can do for you, maid? You look tired and hungry.
I'm just fine, sir.
Alexander has a thought about the serving girl. He decides to bring up the subject of Beast with her.
Let me tell you about the place where the white roses grow. The Isle of the Beast is an enchanted place. There's a path running through a deep forest. The path crosses 3 magic blockades, set to keep all visitors away. At the center lives a tremendous beast.
Really? Magic blockades? How exciting! What kind of a beast? Is it very terrifying and ferocious?
It is a beast that walks on 2 legs and dresses like a prince. It speaks with the voice of a man.
A beast that talks and wears clothes? How is that possible? Is the beast magic too?
Not magical. Enchanted. Beast was once a prince, but a witch trapped him in the form of a beast and set him on the island. There he lives in a castle in the midst of a maze.
How terrible! Imagine how lonely he must be.
It is a very lonely prospect, isn't it? Oh, I have met him, you see. He is indeed ferocious, but who would not be?
He really exists? Oh, how it breaks my heart. If I could, I would tend to such a beast. Such a beast might find comfort in a kind face. Do you not think it so?
Oh, I think it so. I very much think it so. You would not be afraid of him?
Afraid? Maybe at first. But how silly of me to speak so. The roses in this little yard are the only magic I will ever see.
I could take you there. In fact, I would owe you my life if you would go, if you truly wish to go.
You are serious? I could leave here? Oh, I have always dreamt of leaving, but to actually go. This is the only home I have ever known.
Home is a hard place to leave, even if you're unhappy there.
But I will go. If I can help him, I must go.
Is there nothing you wish to take with you?
There is nothing.
Then take this ring. It is his. He will be pleased if you would wear it.
Why, it's the most beautiful thing I have ever seen. Thank you kindly, sir.
Beauty! Where do you think you're going?
To a place where roses grow, and to someone who truly needs me.
I see you wear my ring. You willingly agreed to spend your life here with me? Do you know what that means?
Yes, my lord, I do. I have been touched by your story.
Pity alone need not sentence you to endure this face.
Oh, but it is a gentle face, and kind.
You look at me so sweetly and are not repulsed. Oh, by the light of your eyes, my spirit soars. The enchantment! It is broken!
I am pleased to have served you, my lord. Do you still wish me to stay?
What? Speak not such nonsense, Beauty. Do you think that I learned nothing of true love during my time here? You are my queen.
Oh, my clothes! This gown!
How well it suits your noble heart.
Alexander, how can I ever repay you? I have nothing to offer except my gratitude. But please, take these old clothes. Perhaps you'll find someone in need during your travels.
You have already repaid me by your example of courage, Beauty, and by your friendship, I hope.
You will always have our friendship and loyalty, Prince Alexander. But from a fellow adventurer, take some advice. If you find your true love, protect her with your life. Fear all beasts without the redeeming humanity of love. And to aid you, accept my mirror. Now that my life is no longer hung in false shadows, I have no need for it. Give it to someone with nothing to fear from the truth it reveals.
Thank you. I wish you both well.
Come, Beauty. Let me take you home.
Alexander fills the hunter's lamp to the brim with the fountain water. Alexander is carrying an old, battered hunter's lamp. The lamp contains sacred water, baby's tears, and fountain water. The book is used to... The book... There's no reason to put that in the path. There's no reason. There's no reason. Alexander prepares to enchant the hunter's lamp with the Make Rain spell incantation.
Clouds of thunder, shafts of light, come and sup with me tonight. Waters 3 have I for tea, brew a tempest now for me.
The lamp in Alexander's hand gives a little perk. He hopes the spell works despite his makeshift teapot. Alexander takes a magnificent white rose from the rose hedges. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation.
Great gods! Did you see that? The man just appeared from nowhere.
Perhaps he was sent by the spirits. I see no boat.
He is an intruder, no matter how he got here. Grab him!
Not again. Look, I'll leave. It's no problem.
I think not. Let's go.
Alexander is frozen at the spectacle before him. Robed figures are gathered around a bonfire. Some mystical ceremony is taking place, but as to its purpose, Alexander has no clue.
We found a trespasser on the beach, Archdruid.
Uh-oh. Archdruid. Now what has Alexander wandered into?
This must be the foreigner we were warned about. How appropriate that he should come during our rain festival. Place him in the sacrificial cage.
Wait! I must rescue the princess!
There's an ancient druid saying, a man who would save others must first save himself.
Alexander is pushed into the confining wicker cage. And the cage is swung out over the bonfire. Alexander starts to feel a little warm. The bottom of the cage is getting uncomfortably hot. This cage is really hot. Fire in the cage. Alexander pulls out Beauty's old slave clothes, desperate to beat out the flames. The flame is extinguished, but the clothes themselves burn to cinders. Alexander won't be able to keep the cage from igniting for long. The heat and movement must have jarred something. Something that Alexander's carrying is starting to jiggle around. Egad, something's really percolating. The water in Alexander's lamp is hot. It's just about boiling. Alexander feels a drop. It starts to rain.
That man is a powerful nature wizard. By the sacred oak, let him down! must apologize for our rude welcoming committee. We've been feeling inhospitable ever since the winged ones stole our sacred miniature oak tree. Besides, Wazir Al-Hazred sent a message that we were to watch out for a highly dangerous foreign assassin. I assume you are the one he meant.
I'm sure I'm precisely who he meant. I assure you, I mean to harm no one, unless that person threatens the princess. I'm sorry to have disrupted your ceremony, but I'm running out of time.
What is it that you seek?
The oracle on the Isle of the Sacred Mountain told me I should speak to you about the realm of the dead. She told me of 2 souls in unrest there that I might be able to free.
Free souls in the realm of the dead? You're mad!
The souls might be able to help me on my mission to save the princess. It's imperative that I do everything I can. The risks are not important.
No, and yet getting yourself killed will hardly help the princess. But I will tell you what I know. Legend has it that it is the right of any human to challenge the Lord of the Dead in order to save his own life or the life of another already past. But the knowledge of how to do this was lost centuries ago. I have only heard of one who tried it, a young knight who came to the land of the Green Isles from a distant land long ago. According to the story, he was determined to challenge the Lord of the Dead for the soul of his dead lover. It is said that he tamed the Lord of the Dead's horse, a black-winged, demon-hearted beast named Nightmare. Nightmare sometimes flies to the human world to feed on certain noxious plants. Those unfortunate enough to see her are glad to escape with their very souls intact. Somehow the knight captured Nightmare and rode off on her back, supposedly to the realm of the dead. But neither the knight nor his lover ever returned. If there was a means for challenge, it was lost with the night.
I see. Can you tell me anything about the Lord of the Dead?
That is a blacker matter still. To the Druids, he is Samhain, Lord of Coldness and Despair. Samhain was once a man like you or I, but he insulted the gods and was sentenced to rule the underworld. Immortal he is and mateless, robbed of sleep, robbed of movement, robbed of companionship. It is said that he hates all mortals even more for the mortality that he lost. That is all I know.
Interesting. I shall remember.
Now look how the oak embers of our bonfire still glow hot despite the rain. If you're bent on your course, you'll need courage that's just as impervious to the chill. May your luck last longer than your storm, brave one.
May it indeed. Thank you, Archdruid.
Alexander scoops up some of the red-hot embers in the ancient human skull. Alexander cracks the spoiled egg and dumps it into the skull containing the embers. The spoiled egg hisses as it makes contact with the hot embers. Zounds, the steam! Phew, the smell of sulfur! Alexander puts the strand of hair into the skull containing the embers and the spoiled egg. Alexander is carrying a human skull filled with oak embers, a strand of hair, and a spoiled egg. The embers are glowing hot. A foul, sulphurous-smelling steam rises from the spoiled egg and embers mixture. The incantation would do little good without a creature of the night to charm. Alexander pulls out his magic map. Alexander feels a strange pulling sensation. Oh no, Alexander loses his balance.
Whoa! Ow! Hey!
Alexander cannot get to that step. Alexander arrives at the top of the cliffs, somewhat winded after his long but uneventful climb. Alexander solemnly speaks the incantation over the skull.
Creature of night, to me succumb. Fire and brimstone leave thee numb. Purity bind thee like a chain, to do whate'er I now ordain.
Nightmare flares her nostrils at the scent of the fire and brimstone.
That's it. Come on. I need passage to your homeland, Fiery One.
Unable to resist the power of the enchanted smell, Nightmare approaches Alexander. Her eyes appear glassy and sightless. In her hypnotized state, she is unaware of the human so close to her flank, or of anything at all except that marvelous smell.
Now ride!
Nightmare deposits Alexander on a strange, cold world. And some of the inhabitants don't look too friendly. Uh-oh. One of the wandering ghouls brushes up against Alexander. The touch of the putrid flesh dissolves the living matter like acid.
Tickets up. Next.
Alexander's mother always told him to avoid bad ghouls.
Who are you, grieving spirits?
I am Queen Ilaria of the land of the Green Isles, and this beloved spirit is my husband, King Caliphan. We were murdered in our beds by our trusted Wazir. Like a viper, he snuck in during the night and stabbed us in our sleep. Now my husband's soul is broken, and he will not speak.
Then you are the ones I seek. Are you not the parents of Princess Cassima?
Our daughter! Have you news of the princess?
I know that she is alive and safely back in her kingdom after being rescued from Mordak. But I'm afraid I have not personally seen her. Alhazred is keeping her in her room in mourning for you.
I am glad to hear of her return, but she will not be safe alone with that devil. Oh, that we could be there to protect her.
Cassima, how I fail thee.
My poor husband will never rest while our murder goes unavenged and our daughter is in danger.
I came to take you back with me. Your people are still loyal to you. They need to know about the Wazir. Cassima needs you too.
But this is the realm of the dead. We cannot leave it. Nor, for that matter, can you. The only one who might be able to return us all to the land of the living is the Lord of the Dead. But he would never help us. He has no mercy.
I might be able to convince him. I must try.
Then take this. It is my ticket to the underworld. There you will find the Lord of the Dead. I cannot use the ticket as long as I'm chained here. And if we cannot be avenged, I will never be unchained.
Thank you. Perhaps it will save us all.
Be careful, young man. If you can ease my husband's torment and help our daughter, we will be most grateful.
I will do my best. Goodbye, Queen Ilaria. Why do you not rest, sad spirit?
Rest? I cannot rest. My son is lost.
Lost? You mean in this realm?
No. His spirit is stuck in the land of the living, probably looking for me. But I cannot leave to go show him the way. My poor Ali.
Is there anything I can do?
Take this handkerchief. If you get back to the land of the living and find him, tell him that his mother is waiting for him here. By this kiss, he'll be able to find his way to the realm of the dead.
I'll do my best to find him.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my Ali.
The skeleton to the left of the path hands something to the spirits that approach the underworld entrance.
Ticket, please. Next.
Alexander picks up the two bones on the ground. Now, what do these bones remind him of?
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
The skeletons are overcome with the musical call of the bones. They begin to jiggle, then to dance. Alexander finishes his tune, and the skeletons resume their posts. Despite their frolic, they don't seem any friendlier. The realm of the dead is too eerie to invite. Alexander picks up the skeleton key.
I must see the Lord of the Dead. Please let me pass.
Tickets only.
The skeleton at the door seems quite determined. Alexander is carrying a message from his beloved. The ghostly ticket reads, "Admit one."
I have a ticket.
Go on. Next.
Alexander slips off the path and plunges into the river Styx. As soon as the water touches his skin, Alexander's mind and body go numb. He sinks like a lifeless stone.
Tickets up. Next.
Hey, what a fix. Bathing in the river Styx. Apparently, Alexander's not the only one who's curious about the body on the path. Alexander takes the knight's black gauntlet and examines the writing on it. Flesh may cross the portal and seek its master, death. Flesh may go where death is trod, and challenge, like Scheherazade, he who reigns beneath the sod, to spare a mortal's breath. Zounds, that sounds serious.
Will these coins do as fare for passage?
Charon accepts the fare and waves Alexander onto the boat. Alexander would love to get some river Styx water in that teacup, but there's no access to the water from this side of the river. Alexander reaches out to open the gate. Suddenly, the wood trembles beneath his fingertips.
What touch has awakened my sleep? I smell the blood of a mortal. Reach out thine hand again, fleshy human, that I might devour it. It has been centuries since I last ate.
Alexander decides to try to force the gate open.
Tickets up. Next.
It must have been love at first bite. Alexander reaches out to open the gate. Suddenly, the wood trembles beneath his fingertips.
What touch has awakened my sleep? I smell the blood of a mortal. Reach out thine hand again, fleshy human, that I might devour it. It has been centuries since I last ate.
Despite his fear, Alexander summons his bravest voice to command the living gate.
I would pass, Gate. I have business with your master.
My master and thine, human. I would be pleased to introduce thee. Only step forward, and thou shalt meet him shortly.
No, thank you. I come to meet the Lord of the Dead with my flesh still intact.
And why should I let you pass, human, when I would much rather eat you?
I have been told that there is a way for humans to enter Death's realm. There must be something I can do. Some task that will allow me to pass through your doors, Gate.
I seem to recall something. A trick. Perhaps a test. Ah, yes. Should a human try to pass, a riddle is Gate's wont to ask.
A riddle it is, then.
And if thou wouldst fail to answer Gate, his thirsty jaws will be thy fate.
Agreed.
Listen as though it meant thy life then, human, for it surely does. My first is foremost legally. My second circles outwardly. My third leads all in victory. My fourth twice ends a nominee. My whole is this gate's only key.
My first is foremost legally. My second circles outwardly. My third leads all in victory. My fourth twice ends a nominee. My whole is this gate's only key.
The answer is love.
Ah, thou traitor of the mortal plane! How didst thou guess love? That riddle should never have been solved. Love is unknown in this realm.
Love cannot be banished, even from this place. There are spirits still pining of it on the surface above. Still less can it be banished from my heart.
Enough! Burden me not with thy poetry. Pass through, and quickly, before I change my mind.
The spirits ignore Alexander. The spirits. Alexander can't talk to the Lord of the Dead from here. Alexander approaches the throne of the Lord of the Dead.
Why have you entered my domain, still wearing your flesh? If you are so anxious for death, you might have found it easily enough in the land of the living. But since you are here, you are most welcome to stay. Kiss my hand, and you will be one with the spirits. There will be no pain. The will to live is strong, is it not? Never mind. I will reach out to you.
The Lord of the Dead's touch fills Alexander instantly with a numbing cold and blackness. Alexander...
Why have you entered my... If you kiss my hand...
There's nothing there. There's nothing... As though sensing Alexander's desire to touch him, the Lord of the Dead reaches out his hand. As the Lord of the Dead's hand touches his shoulder, Alexander's mind fades to blackness. Alexander...
Why, if you kiss...
I did not come here to die, but to demand my right of challenge. I respectfully challenge thee, death, by throwing down this gauntlet. Man may pass the portal and seek its master, death. Man may pass where death has trod, and challenge like Scheherazade, he who reigns beneath the sod, to spare a mortal's breath.
He has the gauntlet!
Impossible!
He challenges death.
Who are you to challenge death?
A man of flesh is all I need to be, my lord.
And what is it that you seek with this challenge? The soul of some dead maiden?
I seek the souls of King Caliphim and Queen Ilaria of the land of the Green Isles.
You would save 2 human souls and emerge alive from this realm yourself? That shall be a difficult challenge indeed. The tomb does not open its doors lightly.
Either all 3 of us leave, or none go.
Very well. Then let me think of an appropriate task. Ah, yes, I have it now. Your challenge is this. For thousands of years I have sat upon this throne. I have heard every sad tale that can be told by human lips. I have seen tragedies that ended empires, injustices that defy reason, love that would light the very stars turn cold and hard. I have seen torments that cannot possibly be borne, and yet must be for centuries. This thing I have never done. I have never shed a tear. Make me cry, thou man of flesh. That is my challenge.
Make death cry?
Sooner could he turn sea to stone, or fire to ice.
If your existence has been all that you say it has, then truth alone shall be my sword.
The mirror's surface swirls with darkness for a moment, then fills with images even blacker. Reflections of despair, of wailing souls, of shackles colder and more immutable than any forged by man, of a world of thirsts that can never be quenched. Alexander feels the mirror tremble in his grasp, and is glad that he cannot see its face. But the Lord of the Dead is transfixed to the mirror, to the screening of his life. Things long forgotten are once more uncovered. His enslavement to this throne while still a man, the years of watching misery and horror and growing ever more numb to it, the seep of his own humanity, the slow growth of a new thing altogether which became that which he is now. His is an existence that has no possibility of redemption, no end. The surrounding spirits draw away in pain. The truth is so sharp it stabs, so intense it sears.
Take it away. Make it stop.
The mirror of truth cracks from the strain, and death sheds a single gray tear.
Truth is indeed a terrible thing. I have worn this mantle for so long, I had forgotten its dreadful weight. You shall take the souls and leave as I agreed. You have been granted a stay from this inevitable reality. I almost envy you. Find the souls he has claimed, and bring them to me. King Calaphim and Queen Alaria, I presume. Your hero has won you a few more years of mortality. May your souls be more prepared for their rest when you return.
Thank you, my lord. I hope that they will.
And you, man of flesh, my steed shall take the three of you back to the land of the living. Tell her where it is you wish to go. Until we meet again, then, I assure you, we will meet again.
No offense, my lord, but I hope that will be many long years from now.
It is never as long as you might wish, mortal. Now, begone.
Yes, my lord. Are you coming, Majesty?
Alhazred's treachery must be handled carefully, Alexander. Alaria and I must go gather our allies and form a plan. Watch over Cassima. Make sure she comes to no harm. We will return as soon as we can to take back all that has been stolen from us.
I will keep her safe until your return.
Thank you, son. Your love for our daughter must be deep indeed for you to have undertaken death itself for our sakes.
Indeed. May we succeed in what awaits us, and live long together as a family.
Alexander doesn't want to disturb the old... Alexander holds out the rose, hoping that the bird will deliver it to Cosima. The nightingale takes the rose and heads for the castle once more.
A white rose. How beautiful. It must be from Alexander. How I wish that I could see him with my own eyes, but Abdul will never allow it. He only risks capture by sending me these things, dear to my heart though they are. Fly elsewhere, my pretty friend. Do not endanger Prince Alexander again by taking tokens from his hand. Forgive me, Alexander, and forget me. I cannot return your love, for fear that I shall never leave this castle again.
Alexander waits in vain for Cosima's nightingale to return, but the bird does not. Could there be something wrong? Or does Cosima simply not welcome his attentions further?
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Haven't I seen you somewhere before, sir?
No!
But I'm quite sure. Perhaps on some cliffs.
No!
Isle of the Beast?
No!
Dockside?
No! Leave me alone!
Not very friendly, is he? The little bottle contains some sort of potion and bears a label saying, "Drink me." Alexander searches the bottle for a clue about the potion inside. Alexander suddenly gets a very sneaky idea.
I can't go on anymore. Without Cosima, I'd just rather not live.
Prince Alex, no!
It's true. The Wazir has beaten me. I give up. Poison is my last resort.
Stop!
I am no more.
Oh, what a waste. The poor young fool.
He's dead. He's dead. Wait until Abdul hears. He'll be so pleased. I told you not to pop in like that. You can learn to knock like everybody else. Sorry, Master. I couldn't help myself. I have great news. Well, what is it? Prince Alexander is dead. He killed himself in despair over losing Cosima. What? Are you positive? That young man has proven to be most devious. I saw the whole thing myself, Master. He was really and truly quite dead. If what you say is true, it shall be most convenient. You've spent enough time on that little irritant. We must start thinking about the wedding. anything, master. Oh, I do love weddings. Well, we do want you to look your prettiest, don't we? Now, Shamir Shamazel, to the lamp with you. Prepare yourself, as we discussed.
Alexander's heart lurches to life in his chest.
Prince Alex! But you were...
Sorry, friend. I was doing a little acting, I'm afraid.
Ah, of course, the strange cloaked man. You are quite clever, and a bit too exciting for an old man.
There's no reason to use... There's no reason to use... Alexander holds out the rose, hoping that the bird will deliver it to Cassima. The nightingale...
A white rookie for...
Alexander waits in vain for Cassima.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
Haven't, but I ducks.
No!
Not very...
Would you mind?
Of course.
Alexander...
I think I...
Very good.
Thank you. Would...
Of course.
Alexander...
That
Very...
Thank you.
Alexander...
Oh,
He's dead. I told you not to...
Alexander.
Princess,
Hello? Is anyone here?
No one answered.
Hello?
No. The pole of lamps is...
Good day, peddler.
Good day, sir.
Isn't it a rather bad business? Taking old lamps and giving new lamps in exchange?
Well, there's always a chance that I'll find a genie. If I had a genie, I'd be richer than a king. Besides, there's always a roaring business in antique luminaries.
Excuse me, peddler, but I have an old lamp that might interest you.
Ah, an old lamp. And what a nice traditional design, too. Take your pick of my new lamps. Ah, a fine choice, my son. Here is your new lamp. Good day, and I thank you, sir.
Good day.
Drat! Another dud.
Alexander doesn't have...
Hello? Now, what can I do for you?
Alexander pulled... Alexander... Alexander arrives at the... Alexander climbs carefully. Oh no!
Whoa! Ow! Hey!
Alexander. The
Take it, Ned.
Alexander.
Ah, yes. Now I remember.
The skeletons are overcome with the musical call of the bones. They begin to jiggle, then to dance. Alexander. Alexander. Alexander's.
I have a tick.
Alexander will have to get a little close. Alexander will have to get a little closer to the river. Alexander. Apparently, Alexander's not the only one who's curious about the body on the path. Alexander flesh may sound. Alexander scoops a little of the river Styx in. The realm of the dead is a very dangerous place. There's no time for that here.
Will these coins do it?
Charon. Alexander reaches out to open the gate. Suddenly, Alexander, despite his...
I would... No.
And what?
I have...
And if...
Agreed.
Listen, my first
is foremost.
Don't sound so disappointed. I will make it quick. Perhaps. Tickets up.
Riddle fiddle, what to do? Somewhere sticky, there's a clue. Alexander picks up the two bones on the ground. The Alexander finished. Alexander picks up the skeleton key.
I have a ticket.
Go on. Next.
Apparent. Alexander flesh. Zaun. Alexander doesn't want to experiment. Alexander scoops a little of the river Styx into the teacup with the swamp ooze, being careful not to get any of the black water on his skin.
Will these...
Charon accepts. Alexander reaches out to open the gate. Suddenly, the wood trembles beneath his fingertips.
What touch has awakened my sleep? I smell the blood of a mortal. Reach out thine hand again, fleshy human, that I might devour it. It has been centuries.
Despite his...
I would...
My...
No,
And why should I let you...
I have been...
And if thou wouldst...
Agreed.
Listen as though it meant thy life then. My first
is foremost legally. My second circles outward.
The answer is love.
Thou traitor of the mortal plane.
Love.
Enough!
Alexander...
Why have... If you kiss my...
I did not come here to die. Man may...
He has the...
Him.
He challenged...
Who?
A man of flesh.
And...
I seek this...
You...
Either all...
Very... 4,000... I have this thing I have...
Make death?
Sooner could... Or fire...
If your exist...
The mirror of truth cracks from the...
Truth is, I have found King.
Thank you.
Until...
No, yeah. Are you coming, Majesty?
I'll watch.
I will...
Indeed.
Alexander dips the large black feather into the teacup and stirs the contents gently. To his amazement, the jet-black color of the feather slowly drains from end to tip into the teacup. The teacup mixture blackens and thickens to a paint-like consistency. Alexander carefully puts it away, discarding the drained feather. There's no... Alexander... The nightingale takes the rose and heads for the castle once more.
Oh, don't forget.
Alexander waits it.
Good day, Prince Alexander.
But I love...
No!
Doxa.
No!
Not very friendly.
Would you...
Of course.
Alexander...
I think I'd like the painter's brush.
Very good, Prince.
Thank you.
Alexander...
I can't... It's just... I am...
Oh, what a waste. The poor young fool.
He's dead. He's dead. Wait until Abdul hears. He'll be so pleased.
Alexander's...
Prince Alex! But you were...
Sorry, friend. I was doing a little acting, I'm afraid.
Ah, of course, the strange cloaked man. You are quite clever, and a bit too exciting for an old man.
There's no reason...
Excuse me, peddler.
Good day.
Good day.
Drat.
There don't seem to be any spells for blank walls in the spell book. There don't. Speaking the incant. To cast the magic paint spell, Alexander must first paint an object at a distance. To paint something, the paintbrush. Feeling artistically inspired, Alexander decides to make use of the large blank castle wall. Ah, a doorway. There's nothing left in the... With trepidation, magic paint, black as ink. Bring to life what I think. Make it real what I draw. According... The spell worked. The door has magically solidified. Eager to be inside the castle at last, Alexander opens the enchanted door and steps inside. The magic paint door fades back into the wall. Alexander doesn't see any way of opening that door manually. Alexander can see nothing unusual about. Alexander feels his pockets carefully to... Alexander examines the suit of armor, but sees nothing special. Alexander hears the clear sound of guard dog voices coming from... Alexander decides to find out what's on the other side of that door.
Prince Alexander, I can't believe it! How did you get into the castle?
Well, Actually, it's a little hard to explain.
I bet. You run a terrible risk of being here, though. The castle is crawling with guard dogs, especially today. The Wazir will have your hide if he finds you.
I know that, Jallo. But Cassima is being married today. What greater risk is there than that?
Of course you're right. Young love. I forgot what heartburn it is. But what are you supposed to do about it?
I've got to try to see her. Maybe even stop the wedding.
Is that all? And here I thought you would try something dangerous. Oh.
Don't worry about me, friend. Just tell me, where is Cassima?
As far as I know, she's still in her bedroom upstairs. You'd never make it up there, though. The guard dogs are everywhere, and they're very loyal to the crown. Unfortunately,
Right now, the crown means Alhazred. If we had proof of something truly afoul, the guard dogs might listen. As it is, they're your enemies, not his.
I understand. I've had no lack of enemies since I got here. In fact, you'd almost think I wasn't welcome.
And they say princes have no sense of humor. Well, I can see there's no putting you off. For Casima's sake, I wish you luck. I'll be here if there's anything you need.
Thanks, Jalo. I've been thinking of what you said about swapping a replica for the genie's lamp. I got this lamp from the old lamp seller in town. Do you think it will pass?
Why, yes! It's an exact replica. That's amazing. How did you guess?
I suppose it was intuition.
I'll have to wait for the right moment, mind you. But I should be able to get close enough to swap this for the real thing, and none shall be the wiser. Now you shall see Jalo's skill.
I'm sure your hands are mightier than my sword, my clever friend.
Go ahead and do as you've planned, and let me worry about swapping the lamp. If I accomplish the trickery, I'll manage to get the lamp to you somehow. You never fear.
I have faith, Jalo. You are a true friend.
Oh, shucks. I'd do anything for the princess.
Alexander hears a door off the north hall open. Then, the sound of guard dog footsteps. The footsteps are headed this way. Alexander hears the guard enter the West Hall. The guard dog opens the door at the top of the stairs and leaves the basement. Uh-oh, a guard dog. Alexander's been seen.
Hey, you! You're not allowed down here!
I think I'm a little lost. I was looking for the wedding and...
Be quiet. The Wazir told us to look out for a saboteur. My nose tells me that's you! Guards!
Alexander watches helplessly as the guards descend upon him.
You'll stay in here until we find out what the Wazir wants to do with you.
The guard dogs leave Alexander to his fate. Alexander wonders how he'll get out of this one.
Prince Alex.
Jowlo, what are you doing here?
Never mind. Quick, before the guard dog patrol comes around again.
But how did you know I was...
This is no place to talk, Alexander. Just trust that I know everything that goes on in this castle. Now, be more careful. If you get caught again, I don't know if I'll be able to get you out.
Alexander sees nothing to do. Alexander opens the dungeon door and...
Mother? Mother, where are you?
What's the matter, little boy?
I'm lost. I can't find my mother. I don't know why she would just leave me here. I've been alone ever so long.
You must be the son of the spirit I met in the realm of the dead. She gave me this handkerchief and asked me to tell you that she's waiting for you there.
It's Mama's. It even smells like her. I can feel her now. I know where to go.
Wait. Before you go, is there anything you can tell me about the castle?
I like to play in secret places. In the basement behind the Man of Steel is a door. Nobody except me knows it's there anymore. Farewell.
Alexander examines the suit of armor, but sees nothing special. Remembering what the little boy ghost said, Alexander experiments with the suit of armor. He pushes down, then pulls up on the knight's right arm. A secret passage. Alexander hears the sound of voices coming from nearby. Alexander peers through the chink in the wall.
Captain, I've been hearing rumors from the guards who've been watching the princess. They say lately she's been pounding on her door and begging to be let out. Ain't none of my business, sir, but news like that is upsetting the other dogs. Ain't no guard in the castle who would willingly keep the princess anywhere she don't want to be.
Alhazred claims that a foreign intruder is here to assassinate her. That's why she's got to be kept under lock and key, right up until the wedding.
Call me an old dog that can't learn new tricks, but I say the princess should be the one given the orders.
Alhazred has been in charge for months, what with the king's death and Casima's mourning. Tonight, the wedding will seal it, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like him or not, he's our liege. Need I remind you of your oath to the crown?
Aye, we've an oath. For the sake of the princess, we'll not be forgetting it. He'd just better treat her well.
Speaking of the Wazir, what do you reckon he's keeping in that magical room of his?
It's not a magic room. It's just the door he's enchanted somehow. I say he's still got the royal treasury in there, along with whatever else he's so eager to protect. Not even the court treasurer is allowed in there anymore.
I heard him in the hall the other day. He was speaking of that door. Black magic is what I say. I heard him say, Ali, but then Bay came up and started yapping at me.
Enough! It is not our place to question the practices of our liege, no matter how strange. The wedding will be starting soon. Report to the throne room when you hear the music start.
That was a climb. Alexander hears the faint sound of a woman crying nearby. Alexander peers through the chinks in the wall, trying to locate the source of the crying sounds. Alexander's palms begin to sweat and his heart to race. It's Cosima. He's found her.
Psst! Princess Cosima!
What? Who's there?
It is I, Alexander. I'm here behind this wall.
My, how suave that sounds.
Alexander? It really is you. Oh, I knew you were close by, but how did you get inside the castle walls?
It's a long story and not important now. You did get my ring.
Oh, yes. It has brought me such comfort, Alexander, to know you were close by and had not forgotten. But you shouldn't be here. You're only endangering yourself.
I don't care about the danger. I would brave anything to learn.
What is it?
Alhazred, do you want to wed him, Cosima?
Oh, please believe me when I say that I never agreed to marry that man. Even when my father trusted Abdul absolutely. I never liked him. But with mother and father gone, I'm afraid there's no stopping him.
If you do not wish to marry him, Cosima, you shall not. I promise you. Only come with me now, and we shall escape.
How? I cannot fit through this wall. Besides, do you think I could leave my kingdom, my people, in Abdul's hands? But Abdul would tear the castle apart if I were to disappear from my room. You shall have to do what you can to delay his plans from your end.
I can't just leave you here.
Alexander, do not despair for me. I have been safe in this room for nearly 6 months now. Abdul can be in no hurry, whatever he plans. After all, I'm to be his bride, am I not? I have been planning too, you see. I believe I can escape. If I can only get a chance to lay my hands on a weapon, there might be an opportunity in the hustle of the wedding.
But I...
Shh, just a moment more, then you must go. Let us not waste time with words. Please, let me just look at you, dear Alexander.
Here, take this dagger. It's not much, but it might come in handy.
Why, it's perfect. This is just the sort of thing I've been looking for. Thank you, Alexander. I'll keep it close and use it if I must.
Alexander looks with longing at the fair Cosima. She's even more beautiful than he remembered. Although Alexander would gladly offer Cosima all that he owns, that item would be of little help to her now.
Oh no! Someone's coming!
The lock on Cosima's door rattles abruptly.
Alexander, hurry! Step away before they see you!
Alexander hears scuffling and a woman's brief cry from the other side of the wall. Then, silence. Alexander hears the sound of scratching coming from the other side of the wall. Alexander looks through the chink in the wall.
Dear Shadrach, salutations from the Society of the Black Cloak, etc., etc. My long preparations are about to come to fruition. In a matter of minutes, I will wed the lovely Cassima. Once I've established my power and my crown, I can stage another accident. The princess has proven infuriatingly stubborn, as you know. She's becoming quite a dangerous little thorn in my side. In a way, it is a shame I have to kill her. She is lovely and would be amusing to keep around, but I can't risk her talking treason to one of the guards. So far, I've managed to keep her locked away, but I can't continue that forever. Well, on to it now. I'd send her to you, but as you know, I had no luck in doing so with Mordak. I close in triumph. King Abdul Alhazred. I think it's about time to see if Shamir has taken care of the wench as I asked. It's almost time for the wedding.
The Wazir's words fill Alexander with blazing anger and fear for Cassima's life.
That blackguard! That murderous swine! He'll not have his way if I have anything to say about it.
Alexander sees lots of black cloaks. The trunk. Alexander opens the ebony box and Alexander sees lots of black. Alexander can read the piece. The bottle contains only a. The brush is old. The box is. Finding Cassima is no game of. Inside the ebony box is a piece of paper with the word Zebu printed on it. The box contains some old ivory Alexander inserts the skeleton key in the trunk's lock and turns it. He hears a click. Alexander opens the trunk. Alexander picks up the most recent letter and examines it. The letter is addressed to Abdul Alhazred from the wizard Shadrach. It reads, "Greetings to a brother of the Black Cloak. I was sorry to hear of great Mordak's death, though he was a bit of a ninny at chess. It seems the plans for that little kingdom of yours are coming along. I must congratulate you on your handling of the king and queen. Isolating the island so that no protest could develop was another brilliant stroke. It looks like there's not much left to stand in your way. Do as I recommended with the girl, and you shall have your crown.
That fiend!
Alexander steps confidently out into the upstairs hallway and sees two guard dogs.
Hey, who the...
Hello there.
Don't just stand there. Grab him, Bay!
I'll bet it's that saboteur fellow the Wazir warned us about. I say we run him through right here and now.
No. Woof. The Wazir will run you through if he doesn't get a chance at the prisoner. Let's put him in the dungeon for safekeeping, then we'll go tell the captain.
Aye, Wolf, you're right. Let's go. I think someone must have let our prisoner loose, Ralph.
Who would be crazy enough to do that, Hal?
I don't know, but if I find out, that traitor will be sorry. Let's keep an extra sharp eye in the halls. We'll make sure no one can get near him again.
Right, Hal.
The guard dogs slam the door and lock it. Alexander has a feeling there will be no help from Jollo this time. Alexander unlocks the door with his skeleton key and quickly makes his escape. Alexander doesn't see any way of... Since the door on the west wall has no visible knob, having chosen his words, Alexander uses them to firmly address the door. The door does not respond. Since the door... Having chosen his words, Alexander uses them to firmly address the door. The door. Since the door on the west wall has having chosen his... The door... Since the door... Having the door... The hallway does not... Since the door...
Listen, door. I would have you open. Ali Zebu.
It worked. Alexander pulls the drapery aside. Alexander hesitates to take the treasures. On the table is a fleece.
That fleece must belong to the winged ones, and they thought the Isle of Wonder had taken it.
On the table is a strange-looking stone that's giving off an odd, high-pitched noise.
That must be the Isle of Wonder's singing stone. Didn't the queens think that the beast had stolen it?
On the table is a miniature oak tree. It looks very old.
That must be the sacred miniature oak that the Druids thought the winged ones stole.
On the table is a coat of arms with the head of a beast on the crest.
Beast said that his coat of arms was stolen by the Druids. This must be it.
As Alexander looks at the objects on the table, he realizes the depth of the Wazir's cunning. It must have been the Wazir or an accomplice who stole that one thing most precious to each island, and then leaked rumors that one of the other islands was responsible.
What did the Wazir have to gain by causing the islands to hate one another?
Alexander has no wish to steal from Alexander sees nothing of interest there. Alexander Uh-oh, guard dogs.
An intruder! Grab him!
I was just looking for the kitchen.
I'll bet you're the foreign saboteur the Wazir warned us about. He sure fits the description.
Right, good idea. The Wazir will have our heads if he finds out that prisoner escaped. How do you suppose he did it, Ralph?
Well, Hal, I figure he must have had something on him that he used to open the door.
You did? What'd you find?
Only this funny-looking key. He ain't got it no more, though, now does he?
Ha ha! Good work, Ralph.
Just as Alexander realizes that he has no possible means of escape, he hears the sound of wedding music playing somewhere in the castle.
Confound this dungeon! I'll never be able to stop the wedding now.
Alexander opens the secret.